How to build up your self-confidence. Sometimes you'll have it and you'll lose it. Maybe you never had it at all. I'm Dom Jackson, David A. Media, and this is the 7 Day Scoop Show. I show where I document my career and the process, decisions that I'm making. If you're a venture trying to pursue, so I use my story, adventures to help motivate and teach you. So, just was in, still am now at OKC. Went out here for a new set of training for my next level of growth in the Car Keys Express franchise. We're gonna get in my own van. And when you're in a spot you've never been before, never been into the state, new market, new van, new team, first time in OKC, learning how this market is, learning how the systems are here, learning how this team is, driving the van, being the lead tech, so everything that was going on as far as tech-wise, whether it be cutting the keys or programming them, was all on me. So a lot of things I was like, oh shoot, person's out of town, don't shit the bed. So I got there on Monday, had the late start, and then Tuesday to Sunday I was gonna work. Now, those first 3 days were definitely much to be desired. Couldn't really sell that well, had to figure out a lot of things, so my confidence wasn't really there. And, I was trying to find my groove, but I couldn't really find it because, I knew I could sell, I knew I could do the teching part, but the actual, so many unknowns in the beginning. Where do I park the van? What works best in this market? Where's the best spot to meet people? How do I adjust the store at the economic level? What things can I do to get the result that need to happen? Plus, I'm in someone else's baby, If something happens in this van, it's on me. It's all my fault. The other person who was there too was helping me out as far as how they do things, but he was strictly just selling while I was selling and doing the other stuff inside. Anyway, so I was just like, oh shit, this is a lot. I'm there to rise to the occasion, but when I'm there, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of things I didn't know. Even if I wanted to be more confident, I couldn't turn the confidence on because I was so uncertain about so many things. And that's the first thing that I realized. If you don't have a solid foundation, you're not going to be confident in anything. Of understanding what the basics of what things are. So with the back of my mind, I'm trying to figure out what I need to be doing to make sure I'm at the baseline of what needs to be done. Then I couldn't even, I had to ask a lot of questions of just how you guys do things here already that works. So I don't have to think about that and I can go do what I know how to do the best. So I ended up, only making 1 or 2 sales the first day. The second day, only 1 or 2 sales, which 5 to 7 is usually what I need to be shooting for, especially in that kind of store. So that was the first thing, not really a lot of confidence in myself. Then the third day, I had something with a customer that I tried to help him out, but then I had a lot of things going on at once. And you don't really know how you maneuver until you're getting a lot of things thrown at you at once. You got to make decisions fast. And I made some decisions that weren't the best decisions as far as customer-wise. Somebody got something, but it didn't go out the way it needed to, and there was a lot of confusion. And I was trying to do things quickly, as I should be, but then also I just didn't make the right decisions in that time frame. So confidence was lost there too. Then we had to call the owner of the van because everyone's trying to figure out what's going on compliant-wise. He called me. He was like, hey, man, you shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake here. He was like, you know what, man? Hey, I'm going to have you babysat right now. So the dude who was the other person that was there came outside and was helping me out. Or at least watching me to make sure I didn't do anything too crazy. So it was the low point of damn, I'm not making sales like I need to. I'm making mistakes that I shouldn't make, but kind of shat the bed a little bit. Everything was that was the lowest moment of the entire time. Damn, bro, you suck. But in my head, I was yeah, this is where the confidence comes from. I decided when I was going to do this, and I think it's the best way to kind of keep confidence in yourself. I already know that I'm gonna have to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Everyone who's where I want to be has made so many mistakes that they just don't care anymore because it's yeah, I'm gonna make mistakes and cool, I'm not gonna stop. So the mistake matters, but it doesn't matter at the same time. And that was my mentality. I'm hey man, I owned everything I did, communicated it. Here's the issues. Yeah, I did this, I lost this, maybe some nerves. I called some people that also in the business too, networked, hey, this, Called my my mentor back in St. Louis, just like, conversation. Talked to the owner of the van again, had a conversation with him. So I understood the like, hey, I'm gonna have the whole world just hate me for a little bit because like I just sucked. And like it is what it is. You know what I mean? I know I'm not gonna quit. So that day comes, like maybe we should just have it, cancel the whole thing, let them send me back home, have the whole thing stop. And then I call him, call the owner of the van, I said, call those people. And they're just explaining what needs to go down. And one of the biggest factors of this store, this market that I didn't have context on was that when you're a solo person, even with a two-man team, but I'm a solo person outside, as opposed to I'm used to having at least 2 people or 3 people around, there's a whole level of like going out to find people at a level I wasn't used to doing. So I didn't even think to like, hey, obviously I'll sell you, obviously I'll show you what I'm doing over here. Like when I'm by the actual van, but then like going out around the parking lot and talking to people, helping people with their groceries, seeing like, just trying to do as much as I can to bring every ounce of attention back to where I'm at. People at least know what I'm doing, at least know that I'm there, with a lot more level of effort and work and understanding that I didn't know until I called the people and found out. So to build your confidence, to come back into your confidence, be comfortable in the fire of just like, hey, it is what it is. And be willing to make sure you're gonna get better and get past it. Because like, I was definitely at the lowest point as far as like where I was there. And they didn't have the context to know that like, I was phased, but like not phased at the same time. I didn't want it to be that way, but I was like, bro, I'm gonna rise up no matter what, because that's what the fuck I do. So, bounce back, next day, boom, 5 sales. Me and the other dude communicating more, working out as a team. The owner of the van calls me like, yo, man, you guys doing so much better today. This is great. Like, love to see it. Boom. Next day comes in. The owner of the van actually arrives in OKC. So now me and him are meeting in person, interacting, working together. Boom, I'm still doing the thing. Selling, boom, boom, boom. I have more idea how the system works inside. I have more idea of how the market is. I understand what things I have to take to get to that next level as far as moving around, impulse, talking to people. And, I ended up having a lot better week by the end of the whole thing. They even said like, hey man, like as people that came out here, definitely one of the people who took the most, pain or whatever, uncomfortable situations, and it came back and bounced back even better. So by the end, we had our dinner, talked, he explained to me some things I need to work on as far as like the actual cutting process. Sales-wise, I'm good. Mentality is where it needs to be. Everything takes you to that next step. It was like, hey man, these are the things you probably need to get to your next level. But, as far as mentality-wise, you came out here and rocked it, Most people that come out here don't really bounce back that well. They kind of just take it, We expect people to come here and be apprehensive just because, it's a new place, new market, a lot of new things you got to deal with. But as long as you have the ability to take that pain, take the discomfort, and come out of it like, hey, I'm going to figure it out, that's all it really is. And that's all the confidence really is, too. I think it's more of just like, I'm not going to give up, even if it sucks. And that just comes from being a choice. Like, stopping is a choice, and going is a choice. So you just got to pick what things you want to keep going forward and what things you don't want to keep going forward. And then the confidence is like, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to figure this out. So it's good, sit in the pot of, I don't want to say boiling water. Maybe that's a bad metaphor, but like sit in the storm and be like, all right, well, either the storm's going to pass me or I'm going to walk right through this bitch. And, definitely was a great learning experience for how to evolve, how to take in new situations, how to adapt. And that, my friends, is how you build confidence. Sit through the storm and just be willing not to give up until you get to the other side of it. So as always, take it one step at a time. You'll get there, day by day.